The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
We're talking about Betrayals in Toku.
Yes! Betrayal. Stabbing in the back.
Marcus's favorite pastime.
Only on
I think he'd rather stab you in the front.
Did you say only on Thursdays?
I was going to say in the front, because then I can see the look on your face.
Yeah, it's true.
Valid.
You stabbed me.
I did.
And this is me twisting the knife.
This
while
is me
flicking
doing
you
it
off.
more. What's happening?
Alright, so, are there any... What do you think would make a good betrayal?
I don't want to see it coming.
I don't want to... Okay, I don't want to see it coming, but at the same time, I don't want it to come out of nowhere.
I think the way that I'm sort of thinking about it is, I don't want to see it coming. I want to see it coming, like, if they do another episode immediately afterwards, showing the retrospect.
Yeah.
Show one from the betrayer's point of view.
Yeah.
Showing the retrospect, or if you're rewatching the show, you're noticing that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I want subtle clues, not one day, one day we're best friends, the other day, why is he stabbing me in the back?
I mean, you can sort of... I think Michi is sort of the...
I wouldn't say those were subtle.
No, but it's just like that's...
It was built up.
Sort of how it happened.
It was built up. We could see it coming.
Yeah.
We absolutely could see it coming, but it was still a good betrayal.
Yeah.
In terms of, it could have been worse.
Yeah, could do his direct parallel with Homura in the third Monica movie. That whole ending happened, you're just like, the hell? But it made sense. In retrospect.
Anyway.
It happens a lot more in Rider. We really don't get this in Sentai at all.
No, we really don't, because it's such a team-based thing. You don't really get a lot of betrayals. Unless it's like a character that was just introduced, so you're not really trusting them yet.
What do you think is the best example of this in Toku we've seen so far? Or just first one that comes to your head as being good?
Ryuki. Tiger. Strangely enough, my mind just immediately went to him. Because Oja was already an asshole. But Tiger... Tiger teamed up with them at the beginning, and then, he had his whole psychosis thing that was happening.
What? Psychosis and Ryuki?
And then he legitimately stabbed him in the back. So
what you did there.
Yeah, so I really like how they did Tigers.
Yeah, his was good. Can you think of any, Jacob?
That are good? I think Michi is a good example.
Michi is a good example.
Because I think when it comes to how you portray a betrayal, regardless of what medium it is, it really just comes down to the script. It's good story, good characters. If you have that, then a betrayal can work. If I see it coming from 1,000 miles away, but it still works, I don't mind.
Like with Michi.
Oh yeah, because it was obvious that was going to happen.
But it was less about the shock of the betrayal and more about watching his descent.
It's not so much about because if you're going for shock value, then I feel like you're doing it wrong. Just with anything, because when all you care about is shocking your audience, it's subverting their expectations by shocking them in some such a way, then you've really got something that's only good for watching once. And that's never good.
You do have
because then, the initial shock is gone, but then you're just like, okay, well, what next? What do you mean, what next? We did the thing.
Well, like we were saying before, if we leave, there's a difference between shock and shock because no one expected it, and shock because we decided 40 weeks in to have this character betray somebody. There was no plan. See, when it comes to great betrayals on a rewatch, I'll notice those subtle things like, they were on the phone with somebody in the background that we never noticed.
Oh my god, they're at 5, they're talking.
Talking. But just noticing those subtle clues, this is a personal thing. I love going back and noticing those things I missed the first time. That would have been great clues to this twist.
I was going to say, your point, I understand what you're saying, but that's entirely subjective. What could strike you as something that they came up with 40 weeks in and just decided to do it? Another person could see that, and to them it could feel completely natural.
Most of the ones in Sentai end up happening on the side of the villains, and I think one of the biggest and probably best ones is Professor Bias in Live Man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was
Bazinda running away.
that's still, I think,
like the only clue you needed for him was he's the bad guy. Duh.
But you thought he's just like, he incorporated these people, but at
the way that Professor Bias has worked up to now with bringing these people to the dark side, turning them into monsters under his yoke, and then eventually he will use them as a means to an end to achieve his ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And just that scene of Mazinda, we always go back to it, of her running from him.
Because she feels betrayed, but she's also really scared. Props to the director and the writer of that episode.
And the acting. It's so good. Good stuff.
Like that fear that she really showed, and then she one-upped him at the very end, was just so well done. Pretty much that entire thing that you saw with I can't remember his Dr. Ken, the other one, because I was going to say Transit, which is a character he played later. But yeah, it's just seeing that and how he handled it, in comparison to her. That dichotomy with how they dealt with that betrayal. Mm-hmm. I will say, even though I really, like most of us do, love Jetman, that betrayal, and I'm going to put that in big quotes, with Ratigate just turning on everybody, was so expected. That wasn't even just betrayal. That was just trail.
That was a trail.
That was a trail. We knew. We have a trail from how we got to A to B. But yeah.
Not breadcrumbs. These were whole Italian loaves.
Yeah.
What is another great
one? Any of the villains in Tokucast? They betray each other constantly.
I was going to bring it up. I was trying to think of time.
That whole caste system of our lords and ladies of darkness.
Them literally stabbing each other in the
back.
Back, front, side, whichever they can reach.
Eating somebody.
Didn't exactly work out for them in the end, but
bad ones we can think of?
Build. It needs to be said.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Sawa, the journalist. Now, here's where Build.
Oh, that's not what I thought he was talking about.
Here is where Build screwed up for me when it came to this character, and I mentioned this in the review. But the first time she betrays them, I actually didn't think it was that bad.
No,
because the idea of her, using every means to her advantage to try and get ahead and get the story. And be on whatever side could potentially be the victor in this war.
Yeah. I
understand that. But then it turns out they just called backsies on it. Turns out she was a triple agent. And then
that's the second time.
I had my fingers crossed.
They called backsies on it, and then they called backsies again, not like 10 episodes later.
Second
turn. And that's to me where they took the big stump. It's like, first off, they do the betrayal. Okay, that's fine. Then they call backsies on it. Okay, where are they going with this? Okay, they're all friends now. Oh, wait, she's betraying them again? Oh, wait, backsies again? And it was very poorly done.
Yeah. You can also have some weirdly...
It's the same character doing the same thing, one arc after the next.
You could have some nebulous betrayals, like Braderon betraying all the angels before the show happened. I'm not sure how I generally feel about those, because we don't end up getting a lot of the repercussions from that betrayal. We just know that he did it. And they sort of go into it at the end, but I don't feel like they go far enough.
By the way, I thought you were talking about the coffee shop owner from Bill being the main villain.
That's... I feel like that's less of a betrayal and just more of a reveal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, from the perspective of the main character, it's betrayal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I don't care.
That's fair.
I'm looking at this from my perspective.
I'm just saying, like, a betrayal. I think it's a betrayal because it's not necessarily a betrayal to us, the viewer. It's a betrayal to the characters in the story.
No, so was the other one.
But no, the other one was also just a betrayal to us and our faith in
it was a betrayal to my sensibilities.
Thank you. Betrayal of my common sense.
Any other bad ones that spring to mind?
I have a good one.
Okay, let's hear it.
Astronomer turning on Dark Spectre.
Okay.
Like, what he did to her after turning her into a cyborg, bringing back the Psycho Rangers, connecting him to them, like through his whole energy thing. and then basically setting the Psycho Rangers up so they have to get destroyed. Therefore, training him. Chess. She was playing 4D chess. Just playing through time throughout the entire show.
That's definitely a good one.
Yeah.
Any bad ones in Power Rangers we can think of while we're on the subject? Oh, I don't know if this is good or bad. A Squad. SPD.
Honestly, I don't remember.
I liked that one.
It wasn't...
But elaborate.
It wasn't terrible because the only thing I didn't like about it is that they were they were there. Bridge makes that one, like, oh, their energy's weird. They disappear for the majority of their show. They come back and they betray. It just... that's the only thing the only reason I say it wouldn't work.
Because the gap was so big.
The gap was so big.
Yeah, that was one of those things, like, I like the fact that they did it out of their own volition.
Yeah.
I think that sort of gave it a little bit of credence, where it's just like, there's no external forces. It's legitimately just them doing this because they want power or whatever. Mm. So I like that part, but I see exactly where you're coming from. It's like that huge gap where we get nothing from the character.
Because they were MIA.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that when they came back, that was when, they used their squad mode and they beat them and they're now, the Ace Squad pretty much. But, yeah. It has its good and its bad qualities.
Yeah. Bad ones.
Power Rangers doesn't do the betrayal trope a lot.
They don't really do it a lot. They had the whole thing with Heckle and Snide, but that was coming from a mile away. Also, it wasn't even really a betrayal. He just didn't like you, so he was coming.
Anybody who's over the age of 10 recognizes the reference and knows not to trust him.
Heckle and Snide.
Ta-da!
Oh, I thought it was Smeckle and Smide.
That too.
Nothing in Power Rangers is jumping to mind.
We get a couple from Garo. With like some of the Dark Knights in it getting taken over.
Yeah. Doesn't mean they're already good. After like maybe the first time it was okay, but after like the third or fourth, you're like, oh, Dark Knight betrayal, plotline again, yeah.
With Garo, it seems to be less about, it's more betrayal of a cause.
Yeah.
And a fall to the dark side rather than an actual betrayal of a person.
Fair.
Because you have people like Azami in Garo VR.
More of a Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader type deal.
More or less.
Or
Jenga.
Or the one from season 3.
Mm.
There really aren't that many betrayals that I thought.
They happen sort of infrequently.
Usually happen more often on the villain side.
Yeah. And usually, like, if it does happen, somebody's being mind-controlled.
No shit.
That's a trope that it's like, oh, this character's bad now. Oh, no, they're not. We punched them in the right way. They're good now.
I so want, at some point in the future, in Sentai,
yes,
a betrayal of a ranger.
I was about to bring up Sasori Ranger, I think is what he was called.
Sasori Orange.
Yeah.
Betrayal, reveal as a double agent, stuff like that.
Yeah, it was much more double agent than anything else. I wouldn't even call that one a betrayal, especially because they didn't know him beforehand.
But he's betraying the villains, which is why I brought it up. But just to get to his brother. His brother was a betrayal. Can we talk about that? Oh, fuck, that's a betrayal.
Go on.
He went all fucking Itachi.
Oh, he did go full Itachi in that. It is very valid.
Itachi Uchiha is is Sasuke's brother who killed all of the Uchihas.
Again, I don't know what that means.
From Naruto.
I know, I just never watched it.
He killed his entire clan.
Thank you.
But for a good reason.
No, for a good reason. Sort of. That's a debate. Not everybody in the clan was planning a coup. No. Like the 7-year-old who was down the street did not plan to betray the League. I don't think he had to die.
But they were mostly all bastards, man.
I'm not saying they weren't. Anyway, that's pretty much what his brother did in that show, is that he killed everybody he could. Except his brother.
Sort of what Singer's brother did.
Yeah. So it was a decent betrayal. It's a trope. But it's a decent betrayal if done right. And I think in that case it was done right.
Fair enough.
I just feel like if you're going to have a betrayal, just make sure you build up to it a little bit.
Either build up,
a little bit surprised.
In that particular case, I'm okay with it if it's a backstory trope as opposed to if it's a backstory element as opposed to that. I get it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit on the fence about that, solely because I feel like it just needs a little bit more time.
But I think
it's the same issue I have with Beretta.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, but if the betrayal you're presenting is something as a part of a character's backstory, you're not going to really get the chance to build up to it because it's technically already happened. So it depends on, and when that's the case, it depends on the medium that we're doing, and if we're going to be devoting a full flashback arc to it.
Yeah, which I think in some cases I sort of prefer, just because I really just want to have that build up. Bringing it back full circle, because we talked about this at the beginning. We need to talk about having, at least if we're going to do it, either do a retrospective or, just show us how we got to this point. That's really all I sort of want.
So you might be wondering how I got here.
Record scratch. Yep, that's me. I bet you're wondering how I got into this situation.
I'm still thinking of Stinger in that. Just like, I'm the evil ranger. So you might be wondering what happened here.
I really do want like a legitimate on-team betrayal of a Sentai member. That hasn't happened yet. So it's just like I feel like if they do
they have to beat them and find a new member.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a ballsy move.
That'd be bold, but it would be so 10 out of 10.
If it's done well. If it's done right, it'd be so 10 out of 10, but it's gonna be fucking bold to do that.
It'll be so good though.
We shall see.
All right.
Oh god. Sorry, I was trying to picture that happening in the current running Sentai. Not a chance.
What the heck is the current running
picture?
Sentai?
Earth. 2021.
Right.
I was just thinking Blue going back to being the janitor because apparently he likes getting shocked on a regular basis.
That's a whole other issue.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, let us know what your favorite betrayals were.
Or if you disagree with anything we've said. As always, follow us on other things and let us know what topics you would like us to discuss on a Tokutalk. And thank you guys again to showing up to the charity stream we did recently.
Yes, thank you.
We haven't gotten the final numbers yet, but we raised almost $200. We're so happy to give that to the Trevor Project. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching.